Hello. Welcome to the Longing for Another Strange Land. My name is Ross, and I will be your guide. Tonight, we'll be fundraising for two incredible charities. In Canada, we are fundraising for Second Harvest. They work with food businesses from across the supply chain to redirect surplus food to non-profit organizations in every province and territory. In the US, we are fundraising for the First Nations Development Institutes. Their mission is to uplift and sustain the lifeways and economies of Native communities through advocacy, financial support, and knowledge sharing. When you use the donation link, it'll take you to the First Nations Development Institute donation link. We will match that donation for Second Harvest. So please be open to supporting them and generous in what you're able to give, but also generous in your time. Thank you so much for being here and for watching us try and stop an encroaching doom. Speaking of us, let's go around the table and introduce ourselves. So again, my name is Ross. My pronouns are he, him, and I will be the guide, the person that is running the story, making the monsters, and throwing obstacles in our hero's way. Andie, would you like to go?
Hi. My name's Andie. My pronouns are any, they. And yes, I am excited to perhaps stop encroaching doom or be killed by encroaching doom.
Let's go with Fish.
Hello, I'm Fish. I am all over the interwebs as FishFinlee, and I am very excited to play a character that may or may not be responsible for a series of arsons.
And Kenny.
Hi, I'm Kenny. Excited to be here to redeem myself after episode one. If you didn't watch episode one, spoilers.
You should watch episode 1.
You should watch episode 1.
Yeah, you should definitely watch episode 1.
And Zoe.
Hi, I'm Zoe. I'll be playing Fong. Both of our pronouns are she, her. And I also definitely am not an accomplice to a series of arsons.
All right. A little bit of housekeeping. We are going into a more adventure-oriented game. In the first episode, we played the marvelous Children of Inang-Uri, which is designed and developed by Momatoes. That game essentially is a world-building game. There's a competitive aspect to it. And we build a living chimera and then build the cities and peoples that live on them. This game, we are switching gears and playing Ark. So the first episode ended in a catastrophe. Cities fell and people fled. Tears were shed and backs were stabbed. And this game, we are playing in the consequence of those decisions. We will be using the game system Ark, also made and designed by Momatoes. A couple of content warnings. There will be mentions of there'll be mentions of political oppression, mentions of war, mentions of infection and mold, mentions of viscera and body parts. So please keep yourself safe, and we appreciate your support, whether you're here on stream or with us in spirit. Cool. All right. Well, I think we're gonna get to it. I feel nervous. I think everyone feels nervous. I'm just gonna take a deep breath. Let's do it. 500 years ago, a legendary island existed where cities of great magic bloomed. Bento hangin flew in the air, water bears built grand structures, wizened explored the fringes of reality, and the grave feeders cared for the mother. A great catastrophe occurred, and a doom overwhelmed the people. Generations have passed as the survivors scraped and struggled to build the great kingdom of Devan Ori. The great city sprawls across the warm tropical coast. They forge alliances and fight wars just to justify their existence. The people in this legendary city have also changed. The Shivrama have lost their connection, and they live in a faraway land above the water and have become the ruling class, the Divan. Their aquatic adaptations have fell, replaced with actions of war and oppression. The Bentohangin do not fly on feathered swords. Their okapi heads have melted away, though their long limbs still exist. They serve the Divan as the Keshi. Now, the lines of factions have melted away as well. The Keshi aren't just warriors, some are bakers, some are traders and merchants. Just like every other person, they have forged new paths, new alliances, new families, and new futures. The Wizened seem to be everywhere. There is a person that has a little bit of a wing, or stumps that seem to be another set of arms. They are numerous, and yet their connection with magic and their preoccupation with the truths of the world have melted away in favor of survival. The Grave Feeders were few before, and even few now. There are many that take up the mantle, that serve taking care of the sick and passing on stories from lost tongues that have long since drowned. They still carry forward, wearing mantles of black over their faded colored bandages. The water bearers, they don't exist anymore. Though their blood still runs in some, you can tell that they have that lineage due to patches of gray, a inclination to building, and a fascination with physics or engineering. But their tardigrade-esque bodies and their duckbill, platypus duckbill are gone. They're sand and fossil. The fun part about Ark is that there is a doom coming. We can waste time or we can run towards it, but no matter what, the doom creeps forward. So let's turn that clock on. And I'm going to burn some of that time with exposition.
Oh, great. Good.
Lovely.
We love it.
I thought that's what we just did.
We follow a small child with little stumps for horns as they run through a crowded marketplace. Large buildings made of adobe and wood, some with metal and intricate carvings, dot this large and sprawling marketplace. You can see people doing trade at the bottom, living and working and eating up above. Banners stream across, holding lights that sit in metal lanterns. This young child is hiding something under their robes, under their tunic as they run through this crowded place. They bump into humans, people that look like you and I, who scoff at this child. And as this child runs past, they hear the faint whispers of rumors from them. One of the humans say, "Oh, finally, these monsters will get what they deserve," as the other one looks to the horizon. The child continues to run through. A large crowd has gathered in front of a raised platform. A female presenting person in intricate robes, bespeckled with gold and signs of authority, shouts loudly to the crowd. There, the royal family is here to support you, but we need your help. There are many challenges that our city is facing. First, the Bumbleclot Empire is on its way. They're riding in from the east and will be here in less than a month. And you hear people in the crowd, those damn bums, as they are a constant pain in the ass. The speaker continues and says, our northern food supplies and hunters have been experiencing extreme challenge. Insect-like creatures have been infesting the northern forests. And they stroll out a hunter who has their arm bitten off and showing kind of the severity of the situation. And the speaker, of course, points to the horizon and says, and our biggest challenge is this. Whatever this is, we need brave warriors, adventurers, souls of Kura to go and explore, to defend our home. The guards in front wearing breastplates and okapi-like helmets slam their shields and chant in this proud militaristic way as some people start to volunteer and some people start to make their way out from this crowd. We continue to follow our child as they run to the ports. You can see fishermen pulling in nets full of red algae. You hear some of them say, again with this algae. We've gone to every fishing hole. It just keeps appearing. And another says, we haven't tried the southwest. We got to try Old Man Aiza's spot. That's got to be clean. The child runs into a tavern full to the brim. People of all shapes and sizes, speaking a variety of languages. The child bumps into somebody and says, "Oh, sorry po," as they run through, and they bump into another person who spills their drink, and they say, "Oh, buhawis, sorry, excuse me," as they run through into the kitchen, and they dive into the pantry in the back. A small clasp is held as this child pulls and a door opens. And they run down dimly lit stairs into a maze of tunnels and rooms. The activity above was buzzing, but down here, it seems like an army is preparing. Though you don't see very many breastplates wearing, shield bearing, spear holding keshi, but rather people of all shapes and sizes doing what they can, making makeshift weapons, sharing information, but all under a shared flag. if we can jump over to the image. The small child runs into a room, and above them is a large flag of the Rakshasi. Underneath it says, "Through the shadows, for the people." And not that one. We'll stick with the the flag. No worries. The child runs over and greets the old woman who's wearing a sari of red. Their gray hair is streaked, not with white hairs, but with stress and the pain of running an organization. And the child bends over and touches the woman's feet and says, "Mother, I'm here. I have a delivery for you." The old woman lifts up the child's head and says, "Oh, thank you. Please leave it on the table for everyone to see." And this child lays out two things: a illustration, a map per se, of whatever the heck has floated out of the water, and another parchment of intricate drawings. The mother is immediately inundated with attendants saying, "Oh, mother, the Devana are starting to raid some of the slums, finding any able-bodied person and sending them north." Another person says, "Mother, the food supplies are really running low. The fishers are doing the best that they can, but we're literally running out of everything." Another says, the scouts, their condition is worsening. Could you please check on them, or perhaps use some of your Kora's power? An amulet dangles from her neck. A keratin nail-colored talisman tinged with red. And the mother kind of rubs her temple and says, "Okay, let me set this up, and I will go and attend to one of your needs." They all bow and leave the room. The door closes and it's quiet. The mother looks at the four of you. A metal lantern hanging from the center, illuminating both the flag and the artifacts that this child has secured for you. Who's at this table?
One of the people at this table who reaches forward first, instinctively, at the sight of information and of intel, is a very frail-looking, young but frail-looking humanoid person. He has like a lightly blue-tinged skin. Wears a kind of a big cloak that hides a bunch of pockets and things on the inside that you can kind of hear jostling around sometimes. This is Apo. Apo approaches and holds up one of the maps, the map that the boys put down, and says, "Well, these little spies are getting younger and younger, but whatever gets the job done, right?" And looks over at his group.
Also seated at this table is a very it's slightly taller than average, very thin, very lanky individual with these big owl wings kind of curled up on their back. And they're kind of sitting. They've got forearms, and they're kind of sitting all like folded on themselves, like they're trying to occupy less as physically less space as possible. Just and is trying to kind of like hide in their own silhouette, and is just listening to all the peeps around, as they chatter away.
Right beside her is a almost the definition of mousy looking creature, mostly humanoid, with a hat pulled low over her face. Although, if you looked closely enough, you could see a patch of gray streaked over her left eye. Uh, Carefully examining the map. Not quite sure if she's seen something like that before. And is a little bit concerned over the age of the spy.
The last person at the table is a fairly large figure. Well, at least they would be larger if they were to have the appropriate sized limbs, but instead, on the areas where that's supposed to be, are large broken branches and wooden pegs that they appear to be shifting their weight on to move around. They're covered in these bandages that are stained black with what appears to be just crushed charcoal and things like dirt that are sort of clinging onto it. And where their face would be is a cracked, colorful mask. This is Sora. Their pronouns are they, them, and they're sort of near the back, purposefully trying not to be the first thing people see when walking into the room, especially as to not scare the child. But they speak up and they say, "Yes, you. We will try our best to keep you and people safe."
The child looks up at the mother and says, "I don't know what that one said." and the mother says, "It's okay. Your ears will learn. Please go with the rest of the children. We've saved food for you all. Thank you." And the mother also shares your concerned look. These children are the children of those Rakshasi who have fallen in the opposition of the Divan Empire. Their authoritarian rule has had a chokehold, an iron grip on the throat of the people. And the mother won't turn away a child. But that child's got to work. As the mother turns to the four of you and says, right. The Divan don't think whatever that thing that rose out of the water is worth the lives of their soldiers. There is an empire riding here to destroy us. Apparently, again, they could try, but that seems to be the glory that the Divan are looking for. We have agents in the north trying to deal with these insect monsters, insectoid creatures. And we have our alchemists and our abolarios and our medics looking at this algae. But we are out. We are out of people to investigate this. And The mother points at an illustration of what is floating maybe a kilometer out from the shore of Inang-Uri. It is a map of some sorts. It looks like interconnected islands floating in the sky. We can, you can see in this image, this way. Yeah. That it looks like a mess. It's reminiscent of the remains of a slaughterhouse floor. Maybe we can also share it in the chat for folks, for our people.
Rip.
Here we go. Just so it's easier to see for the players. It looks like the remains of a slaughterhouse floor. Chunks of islands, ? Connected by these thin, long, but strong bridges of some sort. The most disturbing piece, though, is a giant lion's head being elevated by a single wing. The top of this lion's head is covered in a mask that looks too close to Kura. It is made of the same material that holds any vestige of magic, but this is the size of a city. And long tendrils of what looks like water spill down from its mane. The mother points and says, hey, I don't even know what I'm looking at, but that is floating not too far away from us. And it is clear that this is where the algae is coming from. It is spilling and dripping from these floating islands. We need people to look into stopping whatever is causing this algae to appear. The scouts that went to make this map, to make this illustration, they are in the infirmary, infected, but alive. So if you have any questions, perhaps now is the last time you can ask them. I've already sent a team, and they're going to be gone by the next day. And I do not want to send you, but you're all I have left. Please. The people need you. Now, I will be around. If you need me, please find me. I don't actually know what this second parchment is. As she unfolds it, and this parchment of intricately drawn images and symbols in a language that is unfamiliar to any of you unfolds before you. She points at it like this. And, it says, the Divan have been protecting this parchment. They believe it is important to whatever that creature or that island, chain of islands are. Maybe it can help you. Unfortunately, I won't take an answer. I will just assume you will help. Thank you.
Vina sees the kind of the weird writings on the second parchment, and much in the way that small rodents are distracted, but like distracted on target, parks up and starts focusing on this parchment. Body language very much indicating I am invested, I'm going to be doing whatever is happening here, but also I'm not listening anymore. This is interesting.
Sora is going to shamble a little bit forward, being careful not to bump into anyone or anything, as they sort of stretch their head down to take a look alongside Vina.
Is it? Oh, sorry.
No.
You are muted, Ross.
So I will leave it to you here. There's a map in front of you, expectation sets, and an entire base of resources. There are scouts that are dying that were theoretically the ones that saw this thing up close. What would you like to do?
This mother figure in the room.
She's
do
about
they-
to leave. Yeah.
Do they have a title? Do we know them by something?
Their name is Mother.
Mother, just before you go, you said that the Divan were protecting this. They were holding this pretty close to their chests.
Yes. We were able to sneak some children in, and through some unsavory means, we were able to acquire this. Apparently, the Divan found it amongst some of the algae.
And we don't suspect that they know anything else. It's not worth me trying to get more information out of them, is it?
I think you're welcome to. They usually have more information than we do, but we have the important ones for the people. So it's worth a try.
Okay.
Any other questions before I deal with the racket outside and there's banging on the door and being like, Mother, we need your help?
No. Thank you.
Okay.
That sounds important. Goodbye, Mother.
See ya.
Okay. She exits. As the door opens, it's like a clash, a wave of noise as she wades into the mess and closes the door behind her.
I'm just assuming you're all saying yes. Does that look familiar to any of you? And I'm pointing to like specifically the picture in the middle, because I feel like that little bit in the very, very middle, that like I know what it is. But I think that given Vina's like whole shtick is drawing connections and trying to be as clever as possible, is trying to figure out if this looks like anything we may recognize. Just specifically the middle bit.
No, not to me. Do you recognize this?
I don't know. It's it feels kind of like a mishmash, but I don't really know of what.
So this is a really good opportunity for our first roll. So the way that ARC works, for those that are familiar, is that a threshold number is set through a combination of an approach and a skill. And the skill is made of 3 ranks. So the more ranks you have, say you have 2 in observe, you add that to your approach, which is either a creative approach, a careful approach, or a concerted, like with effort approach. And that is the number that you have to roll under with a d6. So if anyone has a relevant skill here, that would be awesome to roll. Now, I'd love for you to tell me your approach, how you're dealing with this challenge, and then the skill that you're using.
I would love to roll very carefully, hearing that it was found amongst the algae, not necessarily wanting to touch it. I would love to roll academic, seeing as I've read so many books. I'm sure that some sort of knowledge would come to me, maybe, hopefully, about what this image in the center could possibly be.
That sounds good. So if you can please roll me a what's your careful approach number?
My careful is 2, and then my academic is also 2.
Great. So you need to roll a 4 or under.
Alrighty.
There was, I believe there was a thing that was mentioned about our bonds being able to affect rolls.
Mhm. Yeah.
Could you
if you
elaborate on
have
that
a
just a tad?
if you have a major bond, so this is a mechanic in ARC where characters can have minor bonds, weak connections with each other, or major bonds, strong, deep connections. If you have a deep connection or a major bond with Fong, you're welcome to add increase the threshold number by 1, making it a little bit easier.
I would love to.
So how's Vina helping Fong in this case?
I think Vina is just kind of spitballing word vomit, whatever common words they can think of in
You're
terms
red
of
stringing.
trying to draw associations between what's on the paper and what. Yeah, like literally like conspiracy boarding. And in the hopes that like something will stick to somebody, like maybe you recognize one of the words, or like it helps draw, like it makes you think of something that then makes you recognize something, like just trying to like like just brainstorming, spitballing out loud.
That sounds good. So please roll, in this case it'd be 2 with your creative or careful, 2 with your academic, I believe.
Mhm.
And then 1 with help from Vina. So you need to roll a 5 or under.
Alrighty. That's a 6.
That's it.
Very
The
good.
one time.
Great start. Fantastic
Good.
start.
Well done.
This is going so well, guys.
So good.
So I'm happy to offer you a succeed with consequence. I don't exactly remember the specific rule of like what the ranges are, but in this case, super happy to recommend you a succeed with
Oh
consequence.
no, not an algae
Oh,
paper
that's
cut.
No.
really
Yeah,
scary.
yeah.
The algae paper. Oh no. I think just being so absorbed in the mysticism of it all, I will accept the consequence.
Awesome. You get really close, closer than you're comfortable with. And let's say Vina is a little over energetic in their support of you, and they actually bump you forward, Fong, as you catch yourself on the table, but you end up cutting your finger on the paper. And you look down and you quickly like put it in your mouth, and you're sucking the blood out. And you look down and you're like, that's blood, right?
This is blood. Is this blood? Is this blood? Did I touch the paper?
Wrong. Okay. Come here.
Okay. Okay. I'm coming.
I have like a little medicine thingy. Can I
Yep.
use that to just take a look and make sure they're okay?
I would need a roll of some sort.
Yes, I would like to very carefully
Mhm.
observe the wound with my alchemist tools, which I use to make drugs, to
Okay.
see if they're okay.
Amazing. So what are the numbers here? So Andie, you're doing careful,
Yes.
which is
My careful is 2. My observe is 0. I do not know how the tools and the drugs things work.
the tools essentially are narrative permission. Like you have the ability to do exactly as you're
Okay,
asking.
gotcha.
So you have to roll a 2 or under.
Okay.
I believe
I
in you.
will. Appo will help with this by saying, "Okay, I know this usually your thing, Sora, but we just got this like really big mission, and I don't want to like. I want us to be able to leave this room and none of us be sick with algae fever or whatever. So let me get in there too. I'll like whip out my thieves tools and be like, I'm not
You're,
gonna
like,
touch you.
picking
I'm not gonna touch you, but I am gonna offer, some surgical precision here.
I am not leaving this room until we know what this is.
Okay. Let's
You
just
guys seem to
assume
have that
you.
handled.
Let's assume you sanitize your tools before sticking it into somebody else's body. Um, and yeah, feel free to add a 1 to that threshold number. So Andy, it's 3 or under.
Okay.
I believe.
That's a 5.
Oh. Am I gonna die?
Sora, you know that this is very quickly. You're very familiar with these kind of cuts. You deal with and you help the people in the slums and the outer fringes in their medical needs. So you're familiar with this kind of injury. And as as you're like kind of picking at this cut, Sora, you recognize that what you think is blood actually moves into Fong's finger, and then the cut closes.
Uh-oh.
Mm.
What was that?
Didn't like that.
What was that?
Sora's head is going to like snap upward, and they are going to very quickly say, "We must go, scouts, 6 scouts, bring to medical."
Yeah. Great idea. Let's go to the infirmary right now and get this taken care of. We're not gonna let you die, Fong.
Are we just gonna leave this here?
No. I'll wrap it all up. I like wrap up the image and the map and stick it into one of the many pockets in my cloak and say, we gotta go because I don't think we can do this without Fong. And this would be a really bad start. And this is our chance to look good in front of Mother and the whole Rakshasi. So let's do this.
This is
Fair
fine.
enough.
It's fine. It's fine.
Fong, you're like holding your finger up. It's fine. You push through this jam-packed base. There are people trying to organize. There are people with maps on the wall, supplies being moved, people who look like they have just found some refuge, huddled in a corner being given some soup that smells like tamarind and vegetables. You make your way through to the infirmary, and it's packed, but there's a back corner that is kind of quarantined off that has some Rakshasi guards, these powerful women who are dressed in the most armor that you've seen in all of the base. They stop you before letting you get any closer to this area. Sorry, what are you doing here?
Hi, finger, please.
As we're walking through like this crowd, Vina has kind of taken the position of standing right behind Fong and is using their wings to like basically maintain a bubble of space around Fong so that Fong isn't being not jostled. And so when we approach, it's basically I'm kind of doing this thing around Fong to try to keep people from nudging into them.
Sounds good. There is a small bit of refuge around Fong as this soldier is holding you back. Sorry, you have they look down, a paper cut?
It's a little bit more serious than that. We do need to get this checked out right now.
Okay. They pull a curtain back and say, Doc, and a little old person kind of waddles out. They are in a very similar contraption as Sora. They are also a limbless, but their prosthetics are a little bit more refined, and they kind of waddle through out of the curtain and says, Sora! Yeah, what are you doing here? What's going on with this one?
Infection. like scouts infection.
Infection. Ah, you still haven't dealt with that throat thing. Hey, come in. Yeah, come in. If you're infected, then you're fucked anyways. Come on.
I'm sorry.
They pull you into the curtained area as this doctor looks at your wound. The scouts are laid out in a bed, in a series of beds in front of you, 4 in total, and they are all types of people. Keshi, Devon. You see some wizened amongst the crowd, amongst the 4, and they are covered with algae. It looks like it is blood vessels, but on the outside.
I dislike that.
The doctor looks at your cut and says, "Oh, well, you're fucked. All right. Well, what I can do is there's it seems like salt water, it does a trick here. So I'm going to give you this bottle of salt water. Good luck. Drink it once in a while. It'll suck, but it'll keep whatever's in your finger from turning into that." Points into the scouts who are covered in algae. Yeah, good luck. You can also cut your finger off. I'm happy to do that.
Hey, wait, that's an option.
Yes. And like the prosthetic turns into a pair of like shears, scissors.
Hey, that's a good idea, right?
Die off first.
Ah, right. Tourniquet. The prosthetic changes again into like a little noose. Puts it over your finger and pulls.
There are no objections to this, right?
Not if you don't have any. Not my finger. I don't care.
Doc, listen. Do you think the salt water is a good idea, or should you just chop it off?
I'm gonna look really. I'm gonna try and be creative here. Rather, I'm going to look at the patients who are here already, see if salt water is being used on them in any effective way,
it's being
as a way to assess whether this is gonna insight. Is this going to actually work?
Okay. Let's make that roll. I'm going to increase the difficulty here because Apo's not a doctor. So I'm going to make the difficulty I'm going to lower your threshold number by 1.
Okay.
What are your numbers here? You're carefully looking at?
Yeah, I would say carefully, I suppose.
Great.
I have a 2 in careful and a 1 in insight. So
great. So you need to roll a 2 or under because I'm making this more difficult.
Great.
You got this.
Easy. I rolled a 5.
You see bags of what looks like salt water, saline, being IV'd into these patients. You have no idea if that's working or not, but they are being treated with the same kind of treatment that this doctor is recommending.
I mean, fine. The results are right there. I don't know what you want to do.
Okay, listen. If they are using salt water on people who are more seriously infected, maybe I'll be fine. And then if something happens, we can then chop it off. It's fine. I will take the salt water for now, and I'll take a shot.
It's disgusting. It's really like off-putting, but you don't feel any worse.
This is fine. I won't turn into them. This is fine.
We keep eye on you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
One of the scouts that seems like they were the lead of the team looks at the 4 of you with like concern. They gasp for air. Are you going?
I mean, kind of gotta.
I'm sorry that you are. And I wish I were you. What you will see there is incredible. There are treasures and art, and there's so much there. If I had another life, I would go back, but I can't. But I wish I were you.
How did you get like this? How did you get sick? What caused it?
We took a boat, rowed it to avoid the Devon Navy. We made it to the Anchor Island, the one that's on the horizon. And we spent a few days there. There are towers, gates, Pai Fang. We call them Pai Fang. They are majestic, but we couldn't get past the first one. Then we drank the water, but we didn't see the algae. And be careful. Be careful of the ones who don't breathe. And there was a voice that kept calling out for mother, for a mother. Mother.
Sora is going to walk a little bit closer to the scouts, sort of shambling there. And they're going to just sort of sit their weight down next to where they're being like set to rest. And they're going to ask, "It's okay. What's your name?"
The doctor looks to you, Sora, and says, his name was Jakeem.
You have a beautiful name, Jakeem. Rest. It's okay. Breathe. Breathe.
So, Sora, he's gone already. He's gone.
I know.
Can't believe you still follow that old faith. It's a waste of time.
I mean,
Now, if you'll excuse me, get the fuck out of my clinic. The doctor kind of shoos the four of you away as you leave the side of this scout that has drifted into the after.
well, given that we're kind of just gotta keep moving forward, what did you learn from the did you figure anything out while you were face deep in this piece of paper?
Figured out that it's a piece of paper and we should not touch it.
Do the four of
Noted.
you head back to the room just to kind of discuss and figure things out? Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
So you're heading back to the room. Door closes. You have the room to yourself.
What did I learn?
Well, out of character, it had the mold on it, despite the fact that it wasn't from the islands, right? It was with the Devon.
They had found it in the algae.
Oh, they found it in the algae. Okay.
So it had washed up. It was there at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So we could probably well, I guess we can't really if it's everywhere. I, the player, have made connection, but has Fong made connection when she succeeded with consequence?
Yes.
Cool.
So you kind of place the parchment down, and you're a little less kind of careful. You kind of look a little bit closely, and it's as if there are a multitude of voices whispering in the distance, quietly singing in a language you can't understand. And as you start to hum and sing along, kind of unintentionally, Sora, you're familiar with the songs. They are songs of the old faith, of grave feeders long past. It seems unlikely that Fong would know them, but there they are. She's singing them, or humming them to herself.
Long old faith songs of old faith.
Songs of the Old Faith. You've
Where'd
heard these
you-
before?
Where'd you get that from?
Heard from other feeders.
Huh. I don't know where I got this from. It's like it's kind of just ringing in my head.
That's. I don't know if I should be concerned or impressed.
The songs are getting louder in your ear, Fong. They're kind of starting to become difficult to tune out. They seem to be seeping out of your ears. The three others can start to hear it. It starts to resonate very deeply in this quiet room. The parchment itself straightens and flattens. Apo, you actually take a look sideways at the parchment and you see that it's seemingly made of kora. This magic material is interwoven into it. And it's getting hard to hear each other as this music continues to resonate.
Could Sora make a concerted effort to identify the song culturally?
Yes,
Like-
absolutely.
Okay. I have a 1 in concerted and 2 in culture.
Mhm.
That's a 4.
So I am happy to offer you a success with a consequence.
I think Sora will take it.
For your next roll, it's going to be one threshold number more challenging.
Okay.
That'll be your consequence. Sora, the music resonates in your bones. It goes up your prosthetic arms and into your soul as you start to sing and worship with this music. Your finger, Fong, the one that got cut, immediately pulls itself towards the center of the map of this parchment and touches it ever so slightly. And the four of you feel like you've come back to a place that you've never known. A home that is familiar but impossibly distant. It is words that you don't understand, but your heart is pulled towards them. They resonate. Falling out of your mouth comes a series of words. The words around the circle say, and pardon my accent here, si ina ang ugat, pundasyon at buto, ang espada na ginamit laban sa langit, at kalasag sa ilalim ang ating magapaa. And out from your mouth, Sora, you say, "Mother is the root, the foundation, the seed, the sword against the sky, and the shield beneath our feet." The top word on the north side of this paper says Templo, temple. On the right, Payak, wings. To the south, Ikol, tail. To the west, Sali, legs. And as you press down, the whatever was inside you, Fong, pushes out from that paper cut that was enclosed and seeps back into the center of this parchment. And it begins to glow.
So what was that?
What?
The music fades, and all you're left with is part of the parchment lined with a red luminescence.
Oh, it's magic algae. Okay, noted.
Magic doesn't exist.
I don't have another explanation for that.
There,
Do you?
there's an explanation, of course. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Where's the secret marker? Like,
Where's the lemon juice on like the magic paper? Yeah.
Hey, you got any other secrets? Piece of Kura paper. Y'all look, it's like made of, and I like point out some of the stuff that's like along my like fancier divan clothing. Like it's made of Kura. Like this is a really old Kura, so there's some like cool stuff in here. But hey, paper, you just talked to us, and I want to know: can you say anything else, or is it just like cool songs? Ross, does it respond to me? Does it talk to me at all, or no?
It responds in the way that I do.
Okay.
Cool. Good talk. Thank you, paper.
Vina kind of leans to Apple and just goes, "I'm glad you asked, because otherwise I would have had to, and I think I would have looked a lot worse trying to figure that out."
That's why. Hey, I'm here to talk. I'm here to get information, and you know, this is not the one. I guess.
Did you all feel home? Old home. Different home.
Besides,
Definitely weird.
yeah, sorry. Like besides here with you all, it's like the first time I felt like this is what I have maybe been looking for with trying to undercut the divan. It's like this is something. This is something special, right?
It's definitely something.
I think Apo like looks to Sora to like have an answer, because Sora does like tell stories and talks to a lot of people. Got anything?
How much would Sora know? Would you say?
I think, like pieces of stories. I think the ones that are relevant are about an island that flies and swims, like an old folkloric story. That's something about the legend of a great magic city. There's kind of a what is the term? Apocryphic. This like treasonous story of the people, apocryphal, thank you, of originally people come from the ocean, not from the land. So those seem to be the ones that are relevant here in your mind.
Land of sky and sea, magic, cities, people from the ocean.
Land and sea sounds a lot like that big scary island on that map, doesn't it?
Do you still have that map, Apo? I know you wrapped all the stuff up.
Yeah.
Earlier.
Here, I will put it out and watch as it changes on our stream as well.
We got you. We got you.
Is that how it works?
That's the real
We got
magic.
you. We got you.
We have to wait a few seconds as
Yeah,
Apple
we have
to-
searches their pack.
We have to sacrifice to Jian and
Here it is.
to ensure it works.
Is there?
Interesting.
Hold on. What am I good at here? Let's see.
It is very interesting that 5 of the little swirly dudes are red. And on the big scary floating island in the sky, it looks like there are 5 swirly thingies coming from said big scary floating island.
Could be a coincidence. I mean, really,
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure.
there's one way to find out, right? Like, I don't know, that guy who died a few minutes ago sounded like it was really worth it to go.
It does sound kind of cool.
We should go find answers. Help Light.
Yeah, we
Okay.
can't keep sending kids out.
Yeah.
They should be kids.
Let's go take care of this, I guess.
So how are you going to do that? Walk me through your next step.
I mean, it sounds like the route that everybody has taken thus far has been via boat out to the spot where the islands kind of start going upwards. Is there a feasible other option, or would we just go via boat?
That would probably be your best bet. There are fishermen who are part of the Rakshasi who could probably get you to the anchor island. You see the island on the bottom left there.
Mm-hmm.
They would need some convincing, but definitely something that you can do. You can try swimming if you'd like.
No.
You can try
That's gonna be a
convincing
no
the
for me.
All good.
convincing Devon to get you there. There's a
Look,
couple
I'm
options.
sure Apo will say, I'm sure it's in the interest of these fishermen to get us to that island, because they're going to be pulling up algae, and eventually we won't be here to feed anymore. And so we need to go convince these fishermen to let us take their boats.
Yes.
Like at the very least, will be four less mouths for them to feed. So
Absolutely.
You're right. You're right.
Also, I can't swim.
Oh, sorry with the jokes. I love it.
Is there not like a propeller that you can attach?
So we can say that the 4 of you make your way over to the docks through some haggling. Let's move the story forward with some promises from Apo. You're able to get onto the boat. A small fishing vessel. You're hidden under cloths and nets. You have all the gear that you need. And as you're making your way in the twilight, yay, something happens.
No.
So with Ark, there are a number of moments that occur before the doom arrives. So for us, 1 moment passes, and oh shit.
I
Oh,
don't like
no.
the sound of that.
What, Ross?
So
Maybe it's oh shit positive.
Yeah.
I will say, at least we know it's a continuing trend from last week that Ross makes concerning noises after rolls.
it's great. I love it.
Yeah.
So for our game, we'll be playing over 3 sessions, and there are 14 of these moments. We've been lovingly calling them doom dots.
Lovingly? Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
The doom will continue to creep at the end of every hour. At the end of this hour, 3 moments pass. As you're in the middle of the boat, in the middle of the water, a side of one of these floating islands swells. It balloons and explodes. Algae being thrown and strewn across the city. And that's where we'll take a break.
No,
Oh no.
Thank you, everyone. We'll see you in 10 minutes. We'll get a bio break as our 4 heroes make it to the island.
They have roofs. They'll be fine.
The island just threw up on us. Whatever.
I note say island explodes, 4 underlines.
Hello, welcome back, everybody. We really appreciate you joining us for the Longing for Another Strange Land. This is a charity stream, so please consider donating to our two great charities that we're supporting. One is the First Nations Development Institutes. They are an amazing organization in the US. Their mission is to uplift and sustain the lifeways, economies of Native communities through advocacy, financial support, and knowledge sharing. They envision a world in which tribal sovereignty is upheld and Native ingenuity and knowledge are honored and respected. When you donate to them, we will make a matching donation to a charity here in Canada called Second Harvest. They work with food businesses from across the supply chain to redirect surplus food to not-for-profit organizations in every province and territory. Thank you for your support, your consideration, and for being here in this journey. It's been kind of scary so far. It will continue to be scary, and I am excited for the horror that is awaiting all of our folks. For those who have just raided, what's up? Hey, thank you for the raid. Really appreciate you being here. We were playing Ark, a game by Momatoes. We're running this game in a world that we generated through another Momatoes game called The Marvelous Children of Inang-Uri. In Ark, there is a timer that ticks down that moves us towards a ever-encroaching doom. The players here have figured out that there is something to do, that the islands that have risen out of the sea are the source of a crimson algae that is overtaking food supplies and potentially infecting folks. They have decided to make their way over to investigate further to stop this doom, question mark. But on their way over to the island, moments have passed and the doom began to encroach. One of these islands bloated and swelled and exploded. And this crimson algae sprayed over the entirety of the city of Devan-Uri. You four ready?
No.
I guess.
The lie is yes.
The shock of seeing this material, this thing, this curse, this blight that infected one of your own, that had taken out the lives of the scouts that first investigated these floating islands. It's been sprayed all over your city. The city you all sworn to protect under the banner of the Rakshasi. The shock fills you with dread and adrenaline. Something I forgot to do was ask everyone to roll 2d6 for your blood and 2d6 for your guts. Your blood is the physical damage that you can take, and the guts is kind of the mental or magic damage that, or social damage that you can take. Zoe, for Fong, please reduce your blood modifier permanently for the rest of the campaign by 1.
Oh no! Okay.
That is the consequence that you had.
The consequence of my actions. How dare you?
Paper cuts. They suck. Yeah. So I won't ask for those numbers. Those are for you. That's your HP pools, essentially.
Oh, so does that go into like our max?
Yeah, your max. So the number you
Okay.
rolled plus the modifier will give you the max blood, and then again for the max guts.
Okay. I was about to ask if I did it right.
As long as you have 2 numbers for those pools, I trust you. I appreciate you. I'm big fans of you. I'm sure it's fun. I love doing like mechanic explanation while a clock is ticking. It's the best.
Yeah.
Really
This
run that
is
down.
going to go.
Yeah, you're good. Everyone good?
Row harder.
Yeah. The 4 of you make it to the island. The fisherman that had taken you there cursing the entire way, eager to get back to their family to see if they're okay. Literally shoves you off of their boat and turns around and makes their way back to the port.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The four of you find yourself on an island. It feels like mud under your feet, though firm. There's sand and what looks to be vegetation that you would see underwater, kelp and other non-blight algae, coral growing in a variety of different places. At the top of a hill, you see a large structure, what the scouts called the paifang. It is tall and red, though underneath its crimson sheen, you see hints of blue. It seems to be the main thing on this quote-unquote island. What did the four of you do?
Vina kind of immediately is gonna start exploring. Isn't quite the word, like is already like a little bit away from everybody because they're already looking at stuff.
Yeah.
They went, yeah, bet.
Vina, where are you going?
So cool.
Is Vina looking for something in particular, or taking samples, or just like poking stuff?
I think they're just poking stuff.
Cool.
I don't think they've got really like a direction, so to speak, as much as they're just like, at least not until the rest of the group kind of decides the forward movement. Vina's just poking stuff to poke stuff.
Is she actually, or are they actually poking stuff, or are you just like colloquially saying they're poking stuff?
Okay. If she can find like a single stick, she is in fact actually poking stuff.
Great. I'd love for you to roll in acrobatics for me, please. It doesn't sound like you're being careful. So creative.
No,
or
not at all.
conservative?
Not at all. Yeah, no, that's a 0. So
oh, so 0 for both
I have
creative
no
and
acrobatics, and I'm not careful. So,
but you can. Are you doing it? I would argue maybe creative, but you can argue concerted as well. Like you're very.
I mean,
focused
I'll
on it.
take creative.
Great.
I just
Yeah.
like.
So what is your
Okay,
creative?
I rolled a 1. I got a 2 in creative. So
amazing. As you are like
Our first
kind of
success.
First one.
Yeah.
first success of the
kind of, like,
night, and it's
skipping
I'm
around.
poking shit.
Yeah. You're letting your imagination run wild because this environment is alien.
Mhm.
It looks like what you see on land, but there are things that just don't really make sense. Like the ground should be more firm the higher up you go. There are no stones. It seems like it's all soil and vegetation. That's not like particularly worrisome, but this did come from the bottom of the ocean, where you know that that's not what the environment looks like down there. And you take a not stick, but like a long piece of coral that's quite firm, and you break it off of one of the pieces of the coral formations, and you're like using it like a walking stick and poking things, and you poke a mound that does the same thing that you saw happen to the city. It bubbles and swells and pops. Algae sprays out of it, but you're able to duck out of the way, and you're far enough in front of your compatriots that it doesn't spray them instead.
Guys, the ground's doing the same thing that just did.
Ina, are you okay?
I'm good. Just concerned, I think.
You think?
I mean, I don't usually, but I guess I am now.
I'm so proud of you, character development.
Yeah, I would. This is really quick development. I would argue caution and carefulness. We don't know what's here or what it's. I mean, clearly, point towards Devon-Uri. It's not good what it has in store for us.
You hear faint screams.
Oh God. Okay.
Being careful is your job. My job is to poke things with my stick.
Hey, let's put the stick down.
I will try to find safe way.
Okay, I believe you. I think I vote Sora leads.
Yeah.
Sora is going to carefully use his their survival skills to try and find a safe way to the thing.
That sounds great. Yeah, and to
Okay.
this Paifang, this tower
The
in the
Paifang,
center
yeah.
of this island.
Yes. I was looking. I forgot the word building.
We're throwing a lot of languages together, so I totally get it.
I have a 2 in careful and 2 in survival. So that's
Amazing.
4.
Nice.
Yay.
Yay, 3 seconds.
Amazing.
Second half is gonna go well.
One of the things I love about Arc is that people remember their bonds at the beginning and they quickly forget to help each other.
How often can we use?
It's
like,
it's a persistent thing.
Oh,
So
great.
if you have a major
Okay.
bond, you can help each other if it makes sense narratively. I won't be like,
Appo's too scared at this moment. to
yeah,
help.
totally.
I don't have a major bond.
You can
I'm
also
sorry.
spend minor bonds with each other to give a bonus, essentially.
Oh,
But
okay.
you reduce your connection with each other. You're kind of like
Oh,
begrudgingly
Gotcha.
doing it, or you're
Mm.
giving more than they take, essentially.
Okay.
So
Or they
the
give
major
back.
bonds we can just like.
kind
It's a thing that you have, yeah, that you can give to one another. You can also like earn bonds with each other. It's kind of like guidance in D&D, where you want to use it when you can, but it needs to narratively make sense and not like
Gotcha.
abused, you know. But in this case, unnecessary, as Sora, you recall a phrase, a saying, as you travel through the wilderness. The the stories and folklore speak of magic being in the land, that the trees, the air, the water, they all are imbued with magic, with a spirit. And you, as you navigate through, you say, you excuse yourself as you pass through. You say tabi tabi po, tabi tabi po, as you navigate through, and this kind of like rhythmic movement through this minefield, essentially. You're able to make it towards this tower, this Paifang, after about half an hour's walk. This island is massive. It's not a small flotsam in the middle of the ocean. It is effectively an island.
Shout out, we did just hit $100 in donations.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, thank you so
Yay!
much for helping us hit our goal. So that is
New goal.
going to be $100 to the First Nations Development Institute and $100 to Second Harvest. Thank you so much for your support. We'll continue. We'll see what we can do. And yeah, thank you.
Woo!
Amazing. This like second wind of victory fills the four of you as you make it to the base of this tower. It is massive. On the outside, it is. It looks like it's made of old and worn kura, but it is the size of the royal palace. A single one of these towers into the air, and throughout it, you can see carvings, engravings, very lightly etched through the entirety of this tower. There is a large opening in the center, and as you peer through, there seems to be another structure in the center of this tower. What do y'all do?
Thinking about what the scouts had said from their deathbed, and Appo's always looking for someone to either communicate with or exploit, possibly. Are there any signs of any other life forms? That's what I'm looking for on the whole walk over here. And also, as we
Mhm.
approach something that looks like, intelligent life has created this, are there any signs of people here right now? Because they were talking about voices and all this stuff that Appo is worried about.
Totally.
The ones who don't breathe.
You peer in and you can see you're kind of looking very concertedly, very specifically for people, humanoids, anybody. And you see closer to this main structure that's in the center of this tower, this paifeng, what looks to be humanoid shapes kind of littering the ground. You also see glints and gleams of metal.
All right, y'all. At attention, there is people on the ground in there with things. And let's proceed with caution and nobody drink any of the water. No one gets thirsty, okay? I'm going to get closer to see what's up with these folks on the ground.
You approach?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't like
As you
that
walk
face that
closer.
you made immediately before responding.
It's one of the game master's best tools.
It's
Fishing.
terrifying the players.
Yeah.
Hi, we're just here, just to visit from the nearby island, from the nearby city, just to welcome you maybe to the area. Hello, I'll say as I'm approaching.
Yeah. So as you approach, you greet them, and the one humanoid figure, you kind of get close enough to, Apo, that trust is a two-way street. You give trust before trust is earned. So you make your way quite close, extending a hand, and you see a humanoid shape with a hand extended out. It lunges at you.
No.
You catch it, and it is like a desiccated skeleton, more like an exoskeleton. You see 6 arms and 2 legs. Maybe it's 4 arms and 4 legs. You're not really sure. And as you look closer, the place is littered with similar skeletons, beings that seem to be of shapes and sizes that are unfamiliar to you, and arguably anybody in Inang-Uri.
I poke the one that you are holding with my stick.
You die.
All right, guys, fun.
And that's a wrap on Fish.
Everyone give them a round of applause.
Appo will let this skeleton, as Vina comes up and pokes at it, we'll just let the skeleton kind of fall to the ground. Can anyone make anything of this?
Sora will walk a little bit closer, sort of seeing them poke the skeletons with poke the skeletons. Sora will speak up and say, Wait, be careful. Please, be careful.
I'm going to shoot a pointed look at Bina.
I can be careful. I can be careful.
I believe you.
Gosh.
Vina, as you're saying that, the corner of your eye, you can see that these skeletons, these desiccated exoskeletons, seem to have jewelry items that are around their multiple arms, kind of tucked away in drowned and dried out packs. It seems to be made of kura as well.
I was so ready for you to say their move. I was so ready. I was so ready for you to say these skeletons move.
I mean, one of them moved, lunged into my arms.
I'm gonna kind of immediately get distracted in that ooh shiny kind of way. and be like, oh wait, these are things, these are cool things, these are shiny things. They seem to be made out of this stuff, and start to try to like, especially if they're like loops in the way that like bracelets and necklaces
Yeah,
often are.
absolutely.
I'm gonna just start like
Vina,
in the
Vina.
way that you like pick up leaves with my stick.
Oh, you're trying to like
very useful
take the
stick.
bracelet off essentially with the
Yeah.
with your stick. Yeah.
Just gonna try to like grab a couple of the necklaces or bracelets or whatever on the stick and bring them up towards.
Sorry. As Vina is doing that, Sora's going to sort of shamble towards them and kind of just gently tap them on the shoulder with with essentially their head, because they're trying their best to like keep balance in the sort of uneven ground.
Mm-hmm.
In such a way that it's not aggressive. They're like, hey, please wait.
I pause, I guess.
Sora looks at these skeletons, and I think almost a bit unsure as to what to say, whether they even speak the same language. They're going to very sort of like rhythmically tap one of their pegs on like a fallen piece of wood and just like lower their head very deeply towards the skeletons.
Sora seems distracted, Vina. What are you doing?
You good?
Yes, I'm okay. Just wanted to make sure they were okay.
Okay. Continues looping bracelets on stick.
So you gingerly wiggle the bracelet onto your coral stick, and it pops off of one of the arms and slides down your into your hand, and it feels warm, like a fire that you're approaching coming out of a forest. You know, like it's a dark and cold day and you see fire in the distance, and you know that your friends have just set up a campfire. And even before you feel the warmth of the fire, you feel the warmth of that place. A fire that you feel like you should know, Vina.
It feels familiar. Not sure how, because like I've never been here before.
And as you focus on this fire, the bracelet in your hand ever so slightly glows. And so do the eyes of the skeleton in front of you.
Oh no.
What is everyone doing? We are now in initiative as one of these creatures lunges at Vina.
Oh.
Joy.
All right. So the way that initiative works in ARC is done through intention. So if there's somebody who's being defensive, they're kind of the top of the initiative. If you choose to do a non-harmful action, like create an advantage for another person, which gives them like a numerical advantage, then that goes next, and then harm goes after that, and then movement is last. So I have this creature attacking Vina. So that is, they're going essentially at the fourth position. What's everyone else doing?
I think Vina would instinctively kind of, upon things beginning to happen, will loop as quickly as they can the bracelet on their wrists. They don't have to physically hold it anymore. And will attempt to dodge.
Okay, so you're taking like a defensive action essentially.
Yeah.
Great. So you'll be standing ground. So you and your allies will essentially receive -1 to their attack's threshold number. So making it easier for your allies to, or making it harder for the attacker to hit you, essentially.
Mhm.
Cool. All right. What's everyone else doing?
Sora is also going to stand their ground.
Okay.
You see them sort of lift one of the larger branches that they used to balance themselves on, and they're not trying to hit anything with it, but they're more sort of like swinging it back and forth to dissuade something from getting closer.
Okay. So 2 standing ground. Anyone else?
Apo will try to create an advantage here for Vina by flashing some of the Kura they have on them in an attempt to guile or distract the skeleton from going after Vina.
Okay, amazing.
And Fong's instinct is it's like skeletal, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so studying anatomy, the instinct is to swipe and sort of like cut into or dislodge a bone that would um be helping like movement, so trying
Yeah.
to stop movement.
Great. It seems like an attack of some sort would work here. I'm happy if you don't use weaponry or physique. If there's something that uses your knowledge to attack, that could work too, because you're trying to be very like precise about this.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So with Vina in front and now Sora also being defensive, essentially giving multiple targets while you're making it hard for your attacker to hit you, that will give me, as the attacker, -2 to my threshold number, which is brutal. And Apo, if you can roll
Go
me
team!
your, I believe it's Guile.
Yes, guile.
Yes. Yeah. So if you're successful, you can have your ranks essentially lower my threshold even more so.
Okay.
So how are you doing it? Are you creative?
I would say this is more creative.
Great. Yeah. Trying to find a way to like use the things on you. Yeah.
Yeah,
That makes
creative
sense.
and guile puts me at 3 at the threshold. I roll 3.
Great. And then how many ranks of Guile do you have?
2.
2. So that lowers my threshold by 2 again. So I'm at a -4 on my threshold, which is real tough. Fong will get the attack first. So you're welcome to make that attack there, Fong. Are you trying to, sorry, go back to Kenny. Are you trying to kind of distract them so that it's harder for them to attack, or give Fong an opportunity essentially to get a strike in?
Creating an opening was my
Creating an
goal.
opening.
For
Okay,
first
amazing.
Yeah.
So actually, let's say it's -2 to my threshold for attacking, and will increase Fong's threshold by 2. So you're going to make it, it's going to be easier for you to hit, Zoe.
Cool.
So how are you attacking?
Would you let me make an argument for using creative and survival?
Yeah, give me that argument.
Okay, so my argument is that survival is a lot of knowledge would there would be a lot of knowledge in how to like safely like fillet a fish or
Oh,
skin a deer.
sure.
So since it is focusing on anatomy and finding like a way to damage it, I
Mhm.
think survival, but it's not like it's not in a sort of brute force kind of way. It's like a stick a knife in between the joint kind of way.
Right. You know how to like gut a fish in one
Yeah.
clean stroke. Great. What's that rule? What are your numbers? And how are you
Okay.
doing this? Creatively, concertedly, or carefully?
I will do creative, which is a +1, and then
Great.
survival, which is a 2, and then I get a +2
That's right.
from.
So you need to roll a 5 or under.
Okay. I'm not gonna break the streak of successes, I promise. That's a 3.
Yeah. You hit very cleanly. The cool thing about Arc is that the threshold number that you essentially are building, that's the damage you do. So you will be doing 5 damage to its
Ooh.
blood. So the cool thing about Arc is it really rewards like team play. Like you stack advantages and you do one really hard attack rather than like 4 that could hit or could maybe not hit. So in this case, with the 5, which is frustratingly accurate, you are able to gut this gutless creature. You find kind of a connection point on the exoskeleton and cuts, and the segments of its body begin to like unfold even before it gets an attack off. You see it kind of fall apart as it lunges towards Vina and crumble into dust.
Oh, that was close.
I'm sorry, Mr. Skeleton Man. I didn't mean to.
Fong, in particular, as you like reflect on what you've done, you notice that you're unintentionally tearing up. There's something stirring in your soul that makes you sad.
Fong? Fong, are you okay? You good?
Yeah. I'm fine. It's just, I mean, we just got here, and this is not our home. I mean, maybe he was just trying to protect his home, and I mean, I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to. Okay, I guess maybe he was already dead, but I didn't mean to kill him part 2.
I mean, it's okay. I want to say it's okay. I agree. I don't think we should come in here and look to upset any balance, but back home, things are getting pretty bad. So it's going to take what it takes, I think, until we figure out how to help everyone.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
That being said, it'd be cool if we didn't have to fight everything that we came across. So
I'd love that.
A crack in the structure lets in a little bit of moonlight, and you get a really good picture for the first time of everything that's in front of you. There are a lot more of these bodies than you thought. Fong, as you swipe your hair back, just kind of out of reflex of like getting sweat out of your eyes, the moonlight shines on these bodies, these corpses, and it reflects a similar gray as the one on your face. The structure in front of you is massive.
They must have lived a good life here once.
I wonder what happened.
I'm actually going to take what I said back and focus a little bit here. As you contemplate Fong, you look a little bit closely at these creatures, and as you observe its anatomy, you can see that there used to be something around their mouths. Whatever was there might have rotted away, and what's left is a gaping maw full of teeth.
It's a lot of teeth. Definitely not from around here.
I have a question.
Yeah.
In the current culture that we all lived in,
Mhm.
was there a way to sort of see off the dead or no?
I think the Devon would have used kind of a more ritualistic fire, something that would have been spurned from Korra to burn their dead. It seems like it's a fire that doesn't need to be ignited. It just kind of appears, and it is controlled by Kora. But that's usually what is done.
Okay. I think Sora will shamble a little bit closer to Fong as we're winding down a little bit. And they're going to sort of bend their head down a little bit and ask, "Do you want help saying goodbye?"
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I would like to make a concerted effort to teach Fong a cultural way to say goodbye, like appropriately.
Yeah, give me that roll.
Okay.
What are you rolling under, Andie?
Concerted and culture, so that's 1 + 2, so 3.
3. Okay, 3 or under.
It's 4.
4.
So close.
Do you want a consequence?
You looked much too happy saying that.
I think because of what this is, I don't think Sora would say no to experiencing a consequence if it means saying goodbye properly.
Absolutely. The you're able to share the words, and I'll leave it up to the two of you, but you can earn a minor bond with each other with this moment as Sora shares the songs and words and meditations of passing forward, moving into the after. And as you speak and sing and phrase, the creatures all around you begin to shamble upwards and onto their feet. The room is full, and so is your doom. Now, I will give you all a turn to figure out how to get out of here. You quickly look around. I'll lay it out. There's easily 40 or 50 of these all around you. It took the 4 of you to take one out, just to give some context. The structure in front of you is massive. It looks like it's stone and kura as well. It looks round, like a fortress, but on either side it is like caved in. There's too much debris to go around the full kind of diameter of the structure. And at the very top is an opening. It looks as if it was meant, that was the way to get into this fortress. Not from the floor, but through the top. It looks really heavily defended and easily fortified. But that is the only way in. You can also run out. But as you know, there is a minefield of crimson algae mounds outside. What do y'all do? Take a sip, though. Remember, you have 23 minutes before another
Oh,
minute.
God. Oh, come on.
Cool. Yeah, love that.
So how tall is the structure? Is really, really tall? Like really tall.
About 30 feet, about 3 stories. Yeah.
Okay. I have a 10 height rope.
Heights. That's like 50 feet, right?
Yeah, 10 height rope is about 50 to 60 feet. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Whew.
So theoretically,
And We
I
can't.
have. That's a dog. I have rope, rolled up carpet, and a bucket, and a backpack, and a book. I'm gonna lay all of these options out on the table and go. So, anybody think we could use any of this?
I don't know, but I can give you
Um,
some time. Appa will hop up on the table, ready to present to this crew of skeletons.
To present to skeletons. Excellent.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm actually going to use. I think my action here is going to be using a technique, if that's okay, for my inventory.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell me about it.
So Appo has a technique called "Only Ones Who Know." And this is his ability to make sure that either everybody knows what he's doing or that nobody knows what he's doing,
Cool.
one or the other. I think the way they work is techniques are like expendable, right? I have to
Yes.
spend this. Okay.
Yes.
To try and draw the attention of these skeletons, Appo is going to start to try and recite some of what Sora is doing. Appo has a major bond with Sora, looks up to Sora, and has heard Sora do this a few times. I think he's heard them kind of speak to the dead as they've passed. So he's gonna try and copy that and like kind of run down this like there's like a table you said, right, that they're all like around.
Yeah, there's like furniture and
Yep.
yeah, that all
Appo's
makes
gonna
sense.
make a show of it and use Only Ones Who Know to make sure that all of these skeletons in here see this.
Our focus on you. Yeah.
To provide some time, I hope.
Yeah. I think with techniques and spells, unless you're trying to do an enhanced version of them, they work as they say. So as Apo jumps onto a table and begins to recite this dirge, these shambling mounds of people long past, they kind of redirect and start to focus onto Apo, and this wave inches towards you.
I just started sweating, Ross. Thank you. Do
So
something, I
romantic.
say.
We can try to like hook the rope up there and climb up and out.
Yeah. We could like tie one end to the bucket and then like try and catch the bucket on something.
I have a crowbar we can try to use as like a grappling hooky sort of vibe.
Ooh.
Like if we tie it to the middle and then use it like the little you try to hook the edge of the thing on the
Yeah.
thing.
That's a good
Yeah,
idea.
you can assist while somebody tries to make that hook, that grappling hook, essentially. Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Let's have. Is that what Vina and Fong are doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I can use creative and tactics for that.
Great.
Ooh.
That sounds great.
And then I can help you.
Awesome.
That sounds
puts
good.
us a
So
set of 5.
how is Fong helping Vina?
I am providing the bucket and the rope, and I am going to instruct you on different types of knots to make sure that that it actually holds.
Cool.
Perfect,
I need a
because
skill
that is
and an
not-
approach.
That is not a knowledge thing that I would have remembered.
I need a
rolled
skill and
3,
approach,
which is
Zoe.
a success.
Okay. Debating between careful and creative. I think because it's something that I would have rehearsed, it's probably careful.
Mhm.
And then I would go through with survival again.
Great. Yeah, give me those rolls. You can take your time. Take all the time you need.
No.
I just like to say, in my head, Appo like giving this presentation essentially as a distraction. In my head, it was like, "You guys need time? Okay, I got you." Pulls a whiteboard out of thin air.
Yeah.
Slide one.
Pocket dimension.
Let's
Yeah.
talk about Q1's revenue.
Yeah.
Laser pointer and everything.
Yeah.
This is a 6-step plan on why you shouldn't kill us.
They roll exactly a 4,
The 4. Amazing.
Oh.
which
So,
is a
you-
success.
Amazing. So you can add 2 to your threshold number Fish, and then make that roll.
Oh,
Unless you rolled already. And what was?
I
what was
rolled
it?
a 3. The threshold number was a 5.
Amazing.
And then add the 2. We
Yay.
are
Yay.
failing.
Yeah.
We are.
Goodness.
The two of
Teamwork.
you like jerry rig something together, and you're able to hook up onto this like large opening at the top. There are platforms there that seem like they look like docks, like for boats. But yeah, you're able to hook onto one of those, and I assume you start climbing.
Yes. It's
The
a wonder why people thought we might be committing arson.
Yeah, this is familiar to the two of you. I think the more challenging situation is Apo and Sora,
Sora.
who
Sora.
has no climbing ability, I imagine.
We can Apo, how do you think you could climb up this rope?
It's gonna be a test.
Okay,
gonna be a
I'm
real
making
test.
an attack, by the way. So I rolled. It's going towards Sora.
Oh no.
Great, that's perfect. So do you have any defense, Sora?
Not unless this is non-physical.
No, it's definitely
Oh
physical.
no.
Right. So all in all, it'll be 3 to your blood.
Okay.
Yeah. What are you at? Sorry.
4.
4. As one of these kind of slips your attention, Apo, and it lunges past you and then attacks and bites Sora. Not in your prosthetics, but in your like center limbless mass.
Ooh. Can I give up a minor bond to take some? Isn't that something I can do? I can take
You
some of
want to
that
take the damage?
on.
Yeah.
As I like circle back up to Sora when I see this skeleton slip away from
I'm
me.
happy to let you take the damage, Apo.
I will. I actually have a large amount of blood and guts, both.
Great.
So I will. I will take the damage for Sora.
Well, let's
That's
make some
awesome.
adjustments. Feel free
Somebody
to
has blood.
earn a minor bond, 2 minor bonds actually, with each other, I believe, because you're taking a essentially damage, like a major thing for one another.
Oh.
I'll let you decide whether it's Apo to Sora or the other way around. Sora, take that life back, and Apo, you now have a desiccated exoskeleton biting you.
This is blood damage. I'm guessing.
Blood damage, yes.
Very
3
bloody.
blood damage.
Ugh.
Okay.
So the idea I had for the rope was to tie Sora to the end of it and just have a bone fong hang on while Vina is like pulling up at the top.
Appa will look at Sora with this thing kind of biting into him and say, can I put this rope through some of your bandages or something? Can we let's get out of here, please?
Sora will sort of like lower their head and kind of like push you up closer towards the rope, and also so that you can tie it on them.
Great. I'm gonna slip the rope through some of their more secure looking bandages to try and get them attached. I'm gonna ignore this biting. Ignore as much as I can.
You can push them on. You have to let them keep biting.
No, I want them to bite me a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
No, I'm gonna just focus solely on making sure Sora is on this rope so that I can look up to Fong and Vina and just yell up. I reach a vibrato in this song that I'm singing and call up to them to pull us up.
And Sora will stand ground just to sort of kind of body block things from getting to Apo as they try to like get us up there.
Great. I'm gonna need a roll.
Wind and rope as fast as I can.
Yeah, essentially getting all of you up there. So designate one of you between the 4 of you to make a roll. Tell me how you're helping one another or hindering.
I was trying to ignore this skeleton biting me so I could be careful in attaching this rope to Sora. Making sure that this is like a really secure bond, and I'm essentially just like resting on top of Sora as if they are the end of a rope swing.
Give me a roll, Kenny. So careful, and what kind of skill?
I don't think I have any points in any skill that would be relevant, so I'm not sure.
So just you're careful.
I think it's
Fine.
just careful. Yeah.
Okay.
Which is 2.
Okay.
Uh,
So give me
Can-
a roll 2 or under.
can Sora use their major bond with Uppo now to give that like a
Make
a
it a
bit
3.
of help? Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. 3
Like
or
they're
under.
trying to keep as still, like wherever Uppo is, Sora's trying to keep still there so that they can carefully try and get this done.
Sounds good.
Okay. That's a 3.
Amazing.
Oh,
What, Sora?
So it's a success.
That's good.
We'll add 3 ranks to whoever is trying to pull essentially everybody up.
I think I'd be the one trying to pull everyone up because it was.
Sounds good.
I'm doing the trying to do the big creative tactics
You're
sort of
the
vibe.
strong
Yeah.
one.
So we'll say, like, Fong, you've set up essentially getting the grappling hook up top. There's been some battle at the bottom. Vina, you've made it to the top. The
Mhm.
view is incredible. I'm going to need you to roll some sort of skill here.
Okay.
You'll add 3 to your threshold number, but that will be whether or not you are all successful.
Would it make sense to keep it as creative tactics since this is all still like
Sure.
part of the whole? Okay.
Absolutely.
In which case, that's 4 plus 3 is 7. So, regardless of what I roll, which is a 5, I'd be under.
Okay.
Vita has 1 skill. This is it.
That's good.
Adrenaline.
It's weird shenanigans to escape places. That's it.
Perfect.
Oh my god.
This is what you knew how to do this even before you got to the top. You're able to shift your weights and use this momentum to fulcrum everybody over, and it does so in such a way that the momentum pushes whatever is biting up off of them. You're able to pull them up into up onto this port and then over, so that the momentum carries you across the lip and down the side of the other side. It's a slingshot tactic that's gotten you out of really tight spots before, and you've made it down the other side of this big tower. You can hear the clattering of bodies on the other side of this stone fortress, but that's not what really grabs your attention. Rather, it's the structure, a statue of some sort in the center. There is 2 swords that look like they're made of feathers dug into the ground. The back of this tower, this paifang, is blown out, and you can see that there are bridges made of what looks like tendon connecting from the back of this tower up to all the other islands. At the base of the statue is curled a person, a limbless, like you, Sora.
Sora is
Vina just kind of nudges Sora and points.
Sora's going to very carefully sort of shamble forward, trying to bring their mask closer to take a look at this person, and they'll say, "Hello, who are you?"
It cranes its neck upwards as if it hasn't done that in centuries. Its eyes are gone. Its clothes gone. It holds in the center of it, as it curls around these feather swords, a bit of kora, but in this case it glows blue. And tears start to roll down where the eyes used to be. And this person says, children. There are children here. Oh, praise Mother. I can finally see her again.
What?
You know, Mother? we were sent by Mother. And hi, I'm actually a full adult. Hello.
Hello, full adult. Do you know, Mother, you know of Inang-Uri?
Well, no. But we were sent by a mother, maybe not the same mother.
Certainly, the mothers create, they are divine. But Inang-Uri, you're her children, no matter how far away you've been. And you've returned.
Does Sora recognize the name?
Yeah, it's kind of pieces, like variations of the name. And you recognize like the name of the city is named Divan Uri. So you don't place it specifically, but it's always a name, or variations of the name are said in reverence, in as if like an angel from heaven or a great power of the sea.
Inang-Uri. What are we to Inang-Uri?
What are you to Inang-Uri? You're her children. You're her children. Please. Please. She is waiting for you. Take this. And the limbless kind of pushes forward a bit of kura, but in this case has a blue tinge to it.
Abo, do you know what this is?
I will step forward and hold it carefully. And with my kind of experience with working inside the divan, and with so much Kura, is this something I recognize?
It's powerful, even from kind of your initial touch. You know it more specifically, but the four of you feel it generally. A deep resonance in your soul, as if you had taken a bath in a beautiful spring, like you had just stepped out from underneath a waterfall. This is cleansing. It's refreshing. It's really dissimilar to the Kora that you are familiar with, specifically, Apo. That Kora is made of fire. It burns. It is of desolation, but of specific and pointed damage. This is the opposite.
It's beautiful. It's better than anything we've been dealing in for however long. This is a really nice specimen. What? I look down at the limbless. What are we supposed to do with this?
She can't go home. She needs her children, as her children has always needed her. And the limbless is like looking towards the largest island, which looks like a lion's head with water tentacles in its mane, with a single giant wing. Go to the temple, and she'll be there.
I will unravel the map and kind of gesture to everyone what they're referring to, and also let the image unfold itself as well. That is, it still glowing red as it was before?
As you do that, you can see, that the top script with a arrow of sorts pointing towards it writes Templo, or temple. The limbless sighs in exultation and falls silent. Their body immediately explodes with crimson algae. The four of you take a step back and kind of get out of its splash zone, essentially. But this algae overwhelms the limbless, as if this coral was pushing it back all these years. But this crimson algae kind of behaves like it has an intelligence. It moves along cracks and crevices and up the wall and into the stone carvings that the moonlight now shines over. The carvings show a scene of okapi-headed warriors with long limbs, very similar to the Keshi, flying on feather swords, fighting against large tentacled creatures. They seem to be defending a creature with a lion's body and a mask that looks like an owl, with large wings and striped legs. You follow the carvings and they continue to curl around, but before you can see a clear picture of the other humanoids, the wall stops, the ragged edge hinting at people that you find so familiar that even the suggestion of them pulls at the strings of your soul. Underneath the carvings, there's a ring of words in a similar script as your map. What you can read, somehow you can read. It says, "I who offer myself to the world, our mother. From the land we fled to find refuge in your warm embrace." The red arm or arrow that is pointing towards legs, Sally, on your map dims and returns blue instead.
Turns blue.
What does this mean, y'all? What do you think this means? Do we go that direction?
I think so. Inang-Uri, old faith, mentioned something about taking care, holy, divine. Not sure.
The wall behind you cracks, then crumbles as the creatures begin to spill in. An hour has passed. The doom continues to encroach forward. Let's see how far it does. Oh, okay, not bad.
That's not no shit.
Two more ticks, 2 more moments pass. And you now have a path in front of you. You need to quickly decide. What do you move towards? And that's where we'll end the game today.
Oh,
yeah, I love exasperated groans at the end of the session.
Momatoes has got a hit here. These dots
These
are
are
everything.
This is great.
Doom dots.
You got 5 off of 14 is
Yeah.
a lot.
That's a lot.
It
Yeah,
is. Yeah.
there are things that need to be solved. Ways to slow down the doom. But you're almost there with 1. There are 2 more that you need to find. Anyways, hopefully you had fun.
So much.
Yeah.
Not super huge fan of all the things exploding.
Hmm.
But here we are. Really.
Yeah.
In the land of the things that are exploding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it sounds
Cool,
awesome.
Cool,
But
cool.
more so, it was awesome to all have you here, both the cast and the crew. We thank you, audience, for joining us, for your kind donations. We'll be back
Yeah, thank
with a
you.
new goal to continue to fundraise.
Woo.
And we'll see you next week on The Longing for Another Strange Land. See ya.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.